Okay, so Hare Krishna everyone. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in his youth. And today we're going to start with text 252. शुनि क्रोध कैल सब पढ़ु यार गन सबे मेली करे तबे प्रभुर निंदन. Hearing the incident, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. So, does anybody remember what happened here? Background of this verse? The last thing we had discussed is last week.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, please
Yeah.
tell me.
So, one Brahmana person comes and touches the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he doesn't want that. A lot of things started after that.
But something happened beyond that, like connected to the verse
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers?
Some of the students, they were just making fun of a Lord. They were just insulting or making fun of Lord because of the loud sound chanting.
What was he chanting?
Maybe the Mahamantra or the some Kirtan must be.
No. See, you people have to maybe spend a little time after the class to.
I know.
Yeah, so basically, Lord Chaitanya was sitting home and chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi.
Okay, good.
And this student came and said, "Why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi? You should be chanting Krishna's name. You get pious results." So Lord Chaitanya got very angry. He picked up a stick and chased this boy, who ran away in fear. And the other devotees stopped Lord Chaitanya from chasing him. But the friends of this boy got very angry and they started to criticize Lord Chaitanya. So that's 254. 255. सब देश भ्रष्ट कैल एकला निमाई ब्राह्मण मारिते चाहे धर्म भय नाई. Translation. Nimai Pandit alone has spoiled the entire country, they are saying. They accused. He wants to strike a caste Brahmana. There's no fear of religious principles. Purport. In those days also, the caste Brahmanas were very proud. They were not prepared to accept chastisement even from a teacher or a spiritual master. So that gives an idea of how puffed up they were, and they thought that they were above everybody else. So they didn't care if it is a spiritual master or teacher or whatever. They were not prepared to accept any criticism. 256. पुनः यदि अच्छे करे मारिब तहारे कौन वा मनुष्य होय कि करिते पारे. If he again performs such an atrocious act, certainly we shall retaliate and strike him in turn. What kind of important person is he that he can check us in this way? So they're ready to beat him up with a stick. Text 257. प्रभुर निंदाय सबार बुद्धि है नाश सुपाठित vidya karau na hoy prakash. When all the students thus resolved, criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their intelligence was spoiled. Thus, although they were learned scholars, because of this offense, the essence of knowledge was not manifested in them. So let's do the purport and discuss this verse. It's a very important verse. Any volunteers?
I can read it, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead, Prabhu.
In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Mayaya Bharta Jnana Asuram Bhavam Asritaha. When one becomes inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, adopting an atheistic attitude, Asuram Bhavam, even if one is a learned scholar, the essence of knowledge does not become manifested in him. In other words, the essence of his knowledge is stolen by the illusory energy of the Lord. In this connection, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura quotes a mantra from the Shvetasvatara Upanishad. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tata garo tasyaite katita hi artaha prakasante mahatmanaha. The purport of this verse is that one who is unflinchingly devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and similarly devoted to the spiritual master with no ulterior motive, becomes a master of all knowledge. In the heart of such a devotee, the real essence of the Vedic knowledge becomes manifested. This essence is nothing but surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyaha. Only unto one who fully surrenders to the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord does the essence of Vedic knowledge become manifested, not to anyone else. This same principle is emphasized by Sri Prahlada Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.24. Iti pumsar pita Vishnu bhaktis chen nava lakshana kriyate bhagavati ada tan manye ditam uttamam. A person who directly applies this 9 principles, hearing, chanting, remembering, etc., in the service of the Lord, to be understood as a greatly learned man who has assimilated the Vedic literatures very well. For the goal of studying the Vedic literature is to understand the supremacy of Lord Sri Krishna. Sridhara Swami confirms in this commentary that first one must surrender to the spiritual master, then the process of devotional service will develop. It is not a fact that only one who diligently pursues an academic career can become a devotee. Even with no academic career, if one has full faith in the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he develops in spiritual life and real knowledge of the Vedas. The example of Maharaja Katwanga confirms this. One who surrenders is understood to have learned the subject matter of the Vedas very nicely. One who adapts this Vedic process of surrender learns devotional service and is certainly successful. One who is very proud, however, is unable to surrender either to the spiritual master or to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he cannot understand the essence of any Vedic literature. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhag 11.11.18 declares, Sabda Brahmani Nisnato na Nisnayat Pare Yadi Shramastasya Shrama Phalo Hi Adyenum Iva Rakshataha. If one is learned in the Vedic literature but is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu, his work is a useless waste of labor, just like the keeping of a cow that does not give milk. Anyone who does not follow the surrendering process but is simply interested in an academic career cannot make any advancement. His profit is only his labor for nothing. If one is expert in the study of the Vedas but does not surrender to a spiritual master or Vishnu, all his cultivation of knowledge is but a waste of time and labor.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So very important verse and very important purport. So what's happening here? The students are criticizing Lord Chaitanya, they're making an offense. And so therefore the intelligence is spoiled. And that's what the purport is discussing, what that means. We'll come back to that. And when the intelligence is spoiled, then they cannot understand the essence of the knowledge. So what is the essence of knowledge? Anybody knows?
To follow the instructions of the spiritual master.
Okay, what else?
That Krishna is
That
the
Krishna is a supreme personality.
Correct. So they will not recognize and they will not accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead when the intelligence is spoiled like that. And Prabhupada is quoting a very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. How does it go? Namam duskritino mudha prapadante naradama maya prahagyana asram bhama ashrita. So let's just talking about people who do not surrender to him. And he talked about four kinds of people who would surrender to him. And then one is those whose intelligence has been taken away by Maya. So these people may have PhD. They may be big scientists, maybe big scholars, but because the intelligence has been stolen by Maya, they don't understand anything about Krishna. They don't understand anything about the scriptures. They don't understand anything about the holy name and so on and so forth. This cannot understand because the knowledge does not become manifest in their consciousness. Okay, so then Prabhupada quotes a very famous verse from Shvetashvata Upanishad, Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tatha guru, tasyet kahita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. So second line is very important. If you have the same degree of faith in Guru as you have in Krishna, then the essence of the knowledge is automatically manifested in you. Automatically. So this is why we know Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. What degree did he have? Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, the spiritual master of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj.
Nothing, Prabhuji.
Nothing. He was illiterate. Illiterate. But so knowledgeable that Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj wanted initiation from him and only him.
Yeah.
So what's his knowledge? That's the manifested knowledge. Similarly, we have very famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam in the first canto alone. It says, Vasudeve Bhagavate Bhakti Yogen Prayojita Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahitukam. It says, when you perform pure devotional service, the Gyan automatically comes. Automatically. It's manifest in our consciousness and our heart. Because, Krishna is revealing that. Krishna is revealing himself and the knowledge about himself and knowledge about the scriptures. So he's doing that when we have that kind of faith. Okay, and then, of course, another verse from Bhagavatam, which talks about the person who observes the 9 principles of devotional service. He's understood to be a greatly learned man who understands the Vedic literatures very well. So again, we say you don't need Gyan to be Bhakta. But if you have Bhakta, Gyan comes automatically. So when you offend a devotee, when you offend the Lord, then that knowledge goes away. Because it's proving the point that any knowledge we have, any understanding we have, is a mercy of the Lord. The mercy is bestowed, mercy can also be taken away. So therefore, we cannot take for granted that, now I become a devotee, therefore I can always be a devotee. No. That mercy can be taken away. We all know the story of Jad Bharat. What happened to him. And I'm sure there are other examples where somebody got puffed up and lost it. So we have to be very, very careful. And then it says, one must first surrender to the spiritual master. And once you surrender to the spiritual master, the devotional service will develop automatically. But if you don't surrender, it won't. Yasya prasadat
Bhagavad Prasada.
Yasya aprasadat
Prasada. Nagati Kadopi.
So if the spiritual master is not happy, you cannot make progress on the path of devotional service. It's very simple. So therefore, even if you have no education, but you have full faith in the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord, then automatically the knowledge and the spirit of devotion comes to the heart of the devotee. And it says here, one who surrenders is understood to have learned the subject matters of the Vedas very nicely. What does Krishna say? Vedasya sarvam ahame vedya. The whole purpose of studying the Vedas is Krishna, to know Krishna. But if you know Krishna, then you don't need to study the Vedas. You already know the purpose of Vedas. Vasudeva Paraveda, Bhagavatam says again. The whole purpose of studying the Vedas is Krishna. So if you know Krishna, then you already know Vedas. Okay? And again, it says here, one who's very proud, then he is unable to surrender to the Lord or to the Guru, and therefore he cannot understand the essence of any Vedic literature. Okay? It says again, if you learn the Vedic literature but not a devotee of the Lord, then all the work is useless. Useless labor. It's like keep a cow who does not give milk. So you can feed all you want, you can serve all you want, but you're not going to get any milk. Bhagavatam also says, Nat padyeti radyatim shameva kevalam. You're doing whatever you're doing. But if whatever you do is not resulting in Krishna prema, it's useless labor. Okay? And then finally says, anyone does not follow surrendering process, but simply interested in academic career, cannot make any advancement in devotional service. Okay? Labor for nothing. Okay? Any questions? Answer that. Okay. Everybody keep yourself on mute, please. Mute, please. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, text 258. तथापि दाम्भिक पड़ुया नम्र नहीं होए, जहां तहां प्रभुर निंदा हास्य से कराए. But the proud student community did not become submissive. On the contrary, the students spoke of the incident anywhere and everywhere. In a laughing manner, they criticized the Lord. So everybody loves Prajalpa. And these students are doing Prajalpa, but the problem with Prajalpa is that always ends up in criticizing of the devotees. That's what they do. And they think it's funny, so they're laughing. But it's not funny. So let's read the next verse. Sarvagya Gosai Jani Sabar Durgati Ghare Bosi Chintita Sabar Avyahati. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, could understand the degradation of these students. Thus he sat at home contemplating how to rescue them. So what quality is that? What's the name?
Just to bestow mercy on the sinful persons, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestow on Jagai and Madhai.
Yeah. The word
Compassion,
for is compassion.
Compassion.
Yes.
Compassion.
So a devotee has compassion for all the living entities. Vaishnav jan to tene kahiye, peer parai jane de. We understand how much people are suffering. Devotees understand how much people are suffering. Therefore, they feel that compassion and want to help them. So every day Prabhupada did distribution of books, printing of the books, writing of the books, and encouraging the disciples to go out and preach, go to different countries, opening temples. That's all part of his compassion.
Compassion.
Okay? 260. जत अध्यापक आर तार शिष्य गण धर्मी कर्मी तपोनिष्ठ निंदक दुर्जन. All the so-called professors and scientists and their students generally follow the regulative principles of religion, fruitive activities, and austerities. The Lord thought, yet at the same time, they are blasphemers and rogues. So if you know all the principles, the regulative principles of religion, you know all about fruitive activities, you know all about austerities, you observe them, but if you blaspheme, it's all for nothing. So let's read the purport, please.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
Here is the description of materialists who have no knowledge of devotional service. They may be very religious and may work very systematically or perform austerities and penances. But if they blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are nothing but rogues. This is confirmed in Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya 3.11. भगवत भक्ति हिनश्य जातिः सहस्रम जपः तपः अप्रनश्यैव देहस्य मंदानम लोकराजनम. If they are without knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, then great nationalism, creative, political or social work, science or philosophy can all simply like costly garments decorating dead body. The only offense of a person adhering to this principle is that they are not devotees. They are always blasphemous towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So again, there's a lot of people who may be religious. But what does religious mean? This basically means that you believe there is God. And you may have some rituals that you do. But that is not devotional service necessarily. What does the word bhakti mean? What's the literal meaning of word bhakti?
To achieve Krishna Prema.
No, the meaning. I'm talking not objective. I'm talking the meaning. You have to
Devotion,
think of the word. Huh?
devotion, Prabhu.
Little bit more than that.
Bhakti means is to do whatever way you can please the Lord.
Serving the Lord.
Prabhu, can I say?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Serving the Lord.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mataji. I don't know.
Serving to the Lord, Mata Prabhuji.
Yes. So the active word is service. Because bhakti without service is not bhakti.
Yes.
There's a simple sentiments, and that's about religious. Religiosity means I believe you, but I'm not going to do anything for you. Right? If I see you, I'll fold my hands, but I'm not going to do anything for you. So bhakti is an active word, or active verb, you can say. So, and that's a proper translation as devotional service. Service means activity, and devotional means with love. So activity with love to please Krishna is bhakti. And that is why, again, going back to an act of devotion, Rupa Goswami says, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratve nirmalam rishikesh sevanam bhakti. So rishikesh means using our senses. Rishikesh means the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna. Sevanam. We serve the Lord by using all our senses, engaging all our 10 senses. That is called bhakti. So eyes, ears, nose, mouth, tongue, skin, legs, hands, mind, they're all used in the service of Krishna. Then that's bhakti.
Like the Amrish Maharaj.
Like
the Amrish.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So the point is a big difference between being religious and being a devotee. So similarly, I'm just slightly off the topic, but somebody may say that, oh, I've seen Krishna, and they may, like in Dwapar Yuga, for example, a lot of people, including Duryodhana, saw Krishna, but that did not make them devotee. At the same time, Pandavas saw Krishna, that made them the devotees. So what is the difference? What's the difference between Pandavas seeing Krishna and Duryodhana, the Kauravas seeing Krishna? What is the difference?
Because the Pandavas, because the Pandavas understand he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Duryodhana looks at him as an ordinary person.
Okay. So more than that?
And they served him with love.
Okay. More than that?
They surrendered to him.
They surrendered to him, yes. What else?
Pandavas have faith in Krishna.
I'm sorry?
Pandavas have faith in Krishna.
Have faith in Krishna, absolutely. Anything else?
Duryodhan was envious, Prabhu.
Duryodhana was
Yes.
envious, that's correct, yes. What else?
Follow his instructions, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. If you want to serve a person, the best way to serve the person is to follow the instructions. And that's how we serve our Guru, and that's how we serve Krishna. Krishna's instructions come through the Guru, through the scriptures, and we follow them to serve Krishna, to please him. So Duryodhana was not listening to the instructions of Krishna, not following the instructions of Krishna. When Krishna said, give them half the kingdom, he said, no. Krishna said, okay, fine, give them 5 villages. He says, no. So not following the instructions. Okay. So that's the difference between a religious person and a devotee. So that's one point I was making. But if anybody, and actually another point is made is a religious person may perform austerities and penances, but their motive is different. There's another saying in the Upanishad which says, Antar bahir yadi hari kim tapa. Antar bahir yadi na hari kim tapa. Meaning, if you have Krishna in your heart, there's no need for any austerities. But if you don't have Krishna in your heart, what's the use of austerities? Because not getting Krishna in the heart. So what's more important is having Krishna in the heart, meaning desire to serve Krishna. That's what a devotee is. Otherwise, just simply a religious person doesn't mean anything. It's useless labor, as Prabhupada said. Okay? And then if they blaspheme the Lord and the devotees, then they're called rogues, rascals. And then Prabhupada is quoting from Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya and saying, if you don't know anything about devotional service to the Lord, what's the use of your nationalism, fruitive activity, political activity, social activity, science, philosophy? What's the use? It's like decorating a dead body. What is the use? So the basic principle is devotional service is what we need. Devotional service is what's required and desired. Okay? And do not blaspheme the Lord or the Lord's devotees, because your spiritual progress will simply stop. Okay, 261. यही सब मोर निंदा अपराध होते आमी न लो आइले भक्ति न पारे लोहिते. If I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing the offense of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take to it. So what is he really saying? He's saying because they have committed the offense of blasphemy, I have to induce them to devotional service. Otherwise, they'll never be able to do it. So again, compassion. So what happens if they don't do devotional service? They'll remain entangled in the cycle of repeated birth and death. So Lord is very sorry. And the Lord is actually not just when he comes back as Lord Chaitanya. The Lord sitting in the Golok Vrindavan Dham is constantly worrying about his children. He sees us not doing devotional service. He sees us blaspheming other devotees of the Lord himself. He sees us being, atheistic or Mayavadi or whatever. And he says, you're all going to suffer. You're going to continue to suffer. You're going to be in the material all the time. I want you back. So Lord is constantly worrying about that. That's why he keeps taking incarnations. That's why he keeps sending scriptures. That's why he keeps sending pure devotees to help us go back to him, help us reconnect with him. So Lord Chaitanya is here thinking along the same lines. I got to do something for these guys. Otherwise, they're finished. It's like a father's worry about a child. 262. Nistarite ailam ami hoile viparit. Esab durjanere kache hoibek hit. I've come to deliver all the fallen souls, but now just the opposite has happened. How can these rogues be delivered? How may they be benefited? So this is the Lord's constant worry. How do I help these children of mine who have gone by the wayside, totally lost, rebelling and everything else? How do I help them? Text 263. Ama ke pranati kare hoye pap chhaye, tabe se ihare bhakti loye. If these rogues offer me obeisances, the reactions of their sinful activities will be nullified. Then if I induce them, they'll take to devotional service. So there's a very important principle here. We talk about the offenses against the holy name, and one of them is to blaspheme a devotee who has dedicated his life or her life to the service of Krishna. So if we have done that, Vaishnava Ninda, what's the remedy? Anybody?
Just apologize from the same person.
Okay, that's one. What else?
They will take
Glorify
the
them.
devotional service.
Sorry, second.
Glorify them.
Okay, what else?
They will take the devotional service.
Say again.
They will take the devotional service.
What does that mean? They will take the devotional service. What does that mean?
Like the student or the bhaktas. I am not clear.
No, say it. I just didn't understand what you said.
Maybe I heard the question wrong.
Now I'm asking, what do you do when you realize you have blasphemed a devotee? So one answer given was apologize. And the second answer was to glorify. I'm looking for more.
Do some
Oh,
service.
Shalini Mataji, go ahead. Sorry.
Prabhuji, do some service, Prabhuji, maybe menial service, do some service.
Yes, that's the key. You must serve a devotee. Now, what's the best way to serve a devotee?
Follow instructions. Following their
Follow
instructions.
instructions. Yes, absolutely right. So that's how you apologize to a Vaishnava whom you may have offended by blasphemy, or whichever way. Okay. So here, Lord Chaitanya is saying the same thing, that if they offer me obeisances, which means they apologize, then the external activities will be nullified. Okay. Then if I induce them, they'll take to service. So it's just that's not enough. Then she's saying I still have to induce them, but now they'll be receptive. When they're offensive, they're not receptive.
Yep.
Their offense is gone, then they're receptive. Everybody understands the concept? That's a very important concept.
Yes, Prabhuji, I understand.
Okay. Okay, 264. मोरे निंदा करे जे ना करे नमस्कार ये सब जीवेरे अवश्य करीब उद्धार. My God, compassion. I must certainly deliver all these fallen souls who blaspheme me and do not offer me obeisances. She's not thinking about punishing them. You rogue, I'll show you who I am. No. No, saying, no, I want to help them. I want to deliver them. Not just help them, I want to deliver them. 265. अतएव अवश्य आमि संन्यास करिबो सन्यासी बुद्धि मोरे प्रणत होइबो. I shall accept the sannyas order of life, for thus people will offer me their obeisances, thinking of me as a member of the renounced order. So another very important point. So let's do the purport, then we'll explain it.
Can I read it, Prabhuji?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Purport. Among the members of Varnashrama institutions, social order, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the Brahmanas is considered the foremost, for he is the teacher and spiritual master of all the other Varnas. Similarly, among the spiritual orders, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Varnaprastha, and Sannyasa. The Sannyasas order is the most elevated. Therefore, a sannyasi is the spiritual master of all the Varnas and ashramas, and Brahmana is also expected to offer obeisances to the sannyasis. Unfortunately, however, caste Brahmana do not offer obeisances to the Vaishnava sannyasis. They are so proud that they do not offer obeisances even to Indian sannyasis. What to speak of European and American sannyasis? Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, expected that even the caste Brahmanas would offer respectful obeisances to the sannyasi, because 500 years ago the social custom was to offer obeisances immediately to any sannyasi, known or unknown.
Right. So we were explaining that Brahmana as a Varna and Sannyasi as a ashram are the highest and therefore the most elevated. And a sannyasi is supposed to be a spiritual master of all the Varnas and ashrams. But these caste Brahmanas don't offer obeisances to a Vaishnava sannyasi because they're too proud. And especially if the sannyasis, European or American, they think, what is this? They don't accept the sannyas ceremony to these people. So, but Prabhupada say, but 500 years ago, people would offer obeisances to a sannyasi. Okay, next paragraph, please.
The sannyasis of Krishna conscious movement are bona fide. All the students of Krishna consciousness movements have undergone the regular process of initiation as enjoyed in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatan Goswami, Tatha Diksha Veda Ne Devaya Gautam Gyate Narnam. By the regular process of initiation, any man can become a Brahmana. Thus, in the beginning, the students of Hare Krishna movement agreed to live with the devotees, and gradually, having given up 4 prohibited activities, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication, they become advanced in the activities of spiritual life. When one is found to be regularly following these principles, he is given the first initiation, Harinam, and he regularly chants at least 16 rounds a day. Then after 6 months or year, he is initiated for the second time and given the secret thread with a regular sacrifice and ritual. After some time, when he advances still further, then he is willing to give up this material world. He is given the sannyasa order. At that time, he receives a title, Swami or Goswami, both of which means master of the senses. Unfortunately, debauches, so-called Brahmanas in India, neither offer them respect nor accept them as bona fide sannyasis. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expected to call so-called Brahmanas to offer respect to such Vaishnava sannyasis. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter whether they offer respect or whether they accept these sannyasis as bona fide, for the Shastra describes punishment for such obedient so-called Brahmanas. The Shastric injection declares, Devata Pratiman Darshava Yatim Chaiva Tridandram Nam Sankirtan Na Kuryad Ya Prayaschite Nara. One who does not offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his deity in the temple, or to a Tridandi Swami sannyasi must undergo prashachita, atonement. If one does not offer obeisances to such a sannyasi, the prescribed prashachita is to fast for 1 day.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhupada is talking about the experience he had when he took his disciples to India. And many were sannyasis, the European bodied, American bodied, and they were not accepted by the Brahmanas, especially the Smarta Brahmanas in India. So he's talking about that. But he's saying that there's a proper process of initiation, and through that process, any man can become Brahmana. And he's quoting it from Hari Bhakti Vilas. So it's not whimsical, it's not made up by him. There's actual proof in the scriptures. Hari Bhakti Vilas is very advanced scripture written by Sanatana Goswami. And that is saying that by the regular process of initiation, anyone can become Brahman. So Prabhupada saying, I went through the whole process, initiating the first initiation, second initiation, then sannyas initiation. So what's your objection? I'm doing everything according to the scriptures. But these people are so puffed up, they don't want to believe the scriptures. They want to go by that. They want to go by their own personal opinions. And Prabhupada is saying it doesn't matter whether they offer obeisances or not. I know I followed the scriptures. I know I followed the orders of Lord Chaitanya and my spiritual master. I'm not worried. And he didn't have anything to worry about anymore. And we know the success that Srila Prabhupada had. Okay. Text 266. Pranatite hobe ihar aparad chhaye nirmal hridaya bhakti karai ba uday. Offering obeisances will relieve them of all reactions to their offenses. Then by my grace, devotional service will awaken in their pure hearts. Okay, let's do the purport. Another very important verse.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Please, Mataji, go ahead.
Okay. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. According to the Vedic injunctions, only a Brahmana may be offered sannyasa. The Shankara Sampradaya, Ekadanda Sannyasi Sampradaya, awards the sannyasa order only to caste Brahmanas or born Brahmanas. But in the Vaishnava system, even one not born in a Brahmana family may be made a Brahmana according to the direction of the Hari Bhakti Vilasa. Tata Diksha Vidhanena Dvijatvam jayate dinam. Any person from any part of the world may be made a Brahmana by the regular process of initiation, and when he follows Brahmanical behavior, observing the principles of abstaining from intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, and gambling, he may be offered sannyasa. All the sannyasis in the Krishna consciousness movement who are preaching all over the world are regular Brahmana sannyasis. Thus, the so-called caste Brahmanas should not object to offering them respectful obeisances. By offering such obeisances, as recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they will diminish their offenses and automatically awaken to their natural position of devotional service. As it is said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabhu Naya. Krishna Prema can be awakened in a purified heart. The more we offer obeisances to sannyasis, especially Vaishnava sannyasis, the more we diminish our offenses and purify our hearts. Only in a purified heart can Krishna Prema awaken. This is the process of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, the Krishna consciousness movement.
Thank you. So I want to bring attention to the last line, second last line. The more we offer obeisances to sannyasis, especially Vaishnava sannyasis, the more we diminish our offenses and purify our hearts. So offering obeisances to a Vaishnava sannyasi, especially an advanced or senior devotee, is not just showing them respect, which it is, but it's also beneficial to us. It's beneficial, that says it will diminish our offenses and purify our hearts. So it's good for us. It's just like anything we do for the Lord or the Lord's devotees. Offer them bhoga, do arti, clean the temple, distribute the books, follow the instructions. They're all meant to purify our heart or our consciousness. So we're not benefiting the Lord by offering him bhoga. We're benefiting ourselves. But that's purifying our heart. So why do we need a purified heart? But then we can chant without offenses. Then we can serve with love. You know that the 4 reasons that we serve, and I should say, the reason we serve the Lord could be for any of the 4 reasons. One is out of fear. We are afraid that we'll go to hell if we don't serve him. Out of hope that we'll get something that we desire, greed, hope, whatever you want to call it. Or sense of duty, that he has done so much for us, we should do something for him. Or out of love. So clearly, serving the Lord out of love is the best, but how do you do that? That's what we're talking about. By purifying our heart, by purifying our consciousness. And so all the processes that we follow are simply meant for that, and offering obeisances to the Lord and the Lord's devotees and the sannyasis is one of those processes. Okay, is that clear? Because, again, very important to understand. Okay, and Prabhupada ends the paragraph by saying, only in a purified heart can Krishna Prema awaken. This is the process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, the Krishna consciousness movement. That's the movement we are in. Okay. Any questions or comments on that?
Prabhu, can you also talk a little bit about when we should pay obeisances to sannyasi and when we should pay obeisances to a Guru Maharaj, whether we should pay obeisances in when the deity doors are open or closed, if you can.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Sure. If the deity doors are open, then the only person you offer obeisances to is your own Guru or the Guru Parampara. So you can offer Srila Prabhupada, no problem, even if the deity doors are open. You can offer obeisances to your Guru, Diksha Guru, even if the doors open. But anybody else, sannyasi or otherwise, You don't offer obeisances if the deity doors are open in front of the deities. This is why we also don't, Charitamrita Tulsi Maharani, we don't do Tulsi Aarti in front of the doors are open. We close the doors and then we do that. Because Tulsi Maharani is also a devotee. And so if you meet a sannyasi and the doors are open, then you simply fold your hands and bow down, bow your head down and say pranam. And that's enough.
So, Prabhuji, when deities altar curtains are open, we are not supposed to do Tulsi Aarti?
Correct. You should close the altar doors or altar curtain before you do Tulsi Aarti. That's correct.
Okay.
Same with circumambulation, same thing. If the doors are open, we don't do that.
Okay.
And if you have control over this and you want to do it, then take Tulsi Maharani to a corner where it's not in front of the deities, and then you can do it. That's if you're allowed to move the Tulsi. But some places they may not allow you to. So, but if you're allowed, then move it out of sight of the deities. Direct line of vision, I mean. Otherwise, they don't see anything everywhere anyway. And then you can offer obeisances, you can do circumambulations, whatever.
Prabhuji,
Ah.
if I go to the temple and the deities' doors are closed, even then I should not be offering because they're resting, right? Then we shouldn't be.
Oh, now you're talking about offering to the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So if the doors are closed and you know it's the resting time or changing time, so like they're taking a bath, they've just been changed, you don't want to offer obeisances to the Lord. Don't go altar to altar to altar and offer obeisances. Just when you enter the temple, you can just fold your hands, bow your head down, and offer a prayer or whatever, but no obeisances. It's like if you're sleeping or if you're eating and somebody keeps coming and offering obeisances, that's disturbing you. You don't want to do that.
Prabhuji, one quick question.
Mhm.
What about spiritual master? What did you say about him if the doors of the temple are open?
You can offer him obeisances. If you're Diksha Guru, you can offer him obeisances.
Okay. Okay.
But if a person is a god brother of the Diksha Guru, then no.
Then no. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. 267. ये सब पाखंडीर तबे होई बे निस्तार आर कौन उपाय नाही ए युक्तिसार. All the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There's no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. So Lord Chaitanya is saying that's the only way to do it. So therefore, I'm going to take sannyas. ए दृढ़ युक्ति करी प्रभु आछे घरे केशव भारती आईला नदिया नगरे. After coming to this firm conclusion, the Lord continued to stay at home. In the meantime, Keshav Bharati came to the town of Nadia. Who's Keshav Bharati?
From where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas?
Yes, from whom, yes.
Yeah.
269. प्रभु तारे नमस्करी कैल निमंत्रण भिक्षा कराइया तारे कैल निवेदन. The Lord offered him respectful obeisances and invited him to his house. After feeding him sumptuously, he submitted to him his petition. Can somebody read the purport, please?
I can read.
Please go ahead.
Well,
We cannot hear.
yeah, I'm reading. Mataji, 1 minute.
Okay.
According to the system of Vedic society, whenever an unknown sannyasi comes to a village or town, someone must invite him to take prasadam in his home. Sannyasis generally take prasadam in the house of a brahmana because the brahmana worships the Lord Narayan Shila or Shaligram Shila, and therefore there is prasadam that the sannyasi may take. Keshav Bharati accepted the invitation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, the Lord had a good opportunity to explain his desire to take sannyas from him.
Yep.
Thank you, bro. So we know this, that a lot of devotees, sannyasis, they don't eat at anybody's house unless the devotees, meaning they're worshipping the deity of the Lords, including Shaligram Shila. And one time, actually, I allowed one devotee couple who were aspiring to take initiation. And I allowed them to cook for Guru Maharaj. And then I got chastised by him. He says, no, I cannot eat food cooked by non-initiated people. So it's very strict. So I said, Maharaj, they're going to get initiated next month. He said, no, it doesn't matter. They're not initiated yet. So same principle being mentioned here. Sannyas especially, they don't eat at everybody's house. So it says that thus the Lord had a good opportunity to explain his desire. So Keshavarti knew Lord Chaitanya will be worshipping Lord Narayan or Lord Krishna, and therefore he accepted his invitation. Text 270. Tumi to Ishwara but Sakshat Narayan Kripa kari karo more sansara mochan. Look at the humility. This is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya is saying, Sir, you are directly Narayan. Therefore, please be merciful unto me. Deliver me from this material bondage. This is humility. Now that we were talking about what is humility, this is humility. Text 271. Bharati कहन तुम्हें ईश्वर अंतर्यामी जे करा उसे करीब स्वतंत्र नहीं आमी. Keshav Bharati replied to the Lord, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I must do whatever you cause me to do. I'm not independent of you."
So probably Keshav Bharati knows that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead at that point.
Keshav Bharati is, Lord Chaitanya will not accept initiation from just anybody. So Keshav Bharati was indeed a very, very advanced devotee. The problem was that he was not a Vaishnava sannyas. Right? So that's what people ask, why did he take sannyas from somebody who's not a Vaishnava? Right? So we can talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, so these are all, in those days, most of the sannyasis were Ekdandi sannyasis. And Keshav Bharati was one of them. But he knew Lord Chaitanya is Narayan. So he's saying, I must do whatever you cause me to do. I'm not independent of you. So something very similar, a very similar discussion had happened between Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said to Ramananda Roy, please, my dear sir, tell me what is the goal of life. And Ramananda said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why are you asking me? I don't know anything. You know it all. Lord Chaitanya insisted that it's okay, fine. I'll say whatever you make me speak because it's all going to come from you. So same thing is saying, you give me respect, but I know who you are. But I must do whatever you ask me to do. 272. एते बोली भारतीय गुस्साई काटो जाते गेला महाप्रभु तहा जाए संन्यास करिला. After saying this, Keshav Bharati, the spiritual master, went back to his village Katwa. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and accepted the renounced order of life. So actually, last time I was there, 2 years ago, when I went there, I went to Katwa. A beautiful place. They still have the tree under which all the devotees sat, crying because Lord Chaitanya's hair was misshaved. They have the samadhi of the barber who shaved his head.
So they make his samadhi too of the barber?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, imagine that barber cannot be an ordinary person.
Yes, of course.
Right? And the samadhi of Keshav Bharati, and his samadhi of one hair of Lord Chaitanya. So that was a very great time. There's so many other pastimes, so many other deities there, very famous deities. So anyway, the one that really broke my heart was when they showed me the tree, and there was all the devotees sat and cried because they couldn't bear to see the beautiful hair of Lord being shaved off. Okay, let's read the purport of this one.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Please go ahead, yeah.
At the end of his 24th year, at the end of fortnight of the waxing moon, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Navadvipa and crossed the river Ganges at the place known as Nidhyara Ghat. Then he reached Kantaka Nagara or Katoya Katwa, where he accepted Ekdana Sannyas according to the Sankirti system. Sankarite system. Since Kesava Bharati belongs to the Sankarite sect, he could not initiate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into Vaishnava Sannyas order, whose members carry Tridanda. Chandrasekhara Acharya assisted in the routine ceremonial work of Lord's acceptance of sannyas. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kirtana was performed for the entire day, and at the end of the day, the Lord shaved off his hair. On the next day, he became a regular sannyasi with one rod, ekdanda. From that day on, his name was Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Before that, he was known as Namai Pandita. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the sannyas order traveled all over Radha Desa, the region where the Ganges River cannot be seen. Kesava Bharati accompanied him for some distance.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
So, a very interesting point here. Why would a Vaishnava accept initiation from somebody who belongs to Shankarite sect? So actually what happened was Lord Chaitanya whispered Gopal mantra in the ears of Keshav Bharati. So basically by doing that, he initiated Keshav Bharati into Vaishnava sect. And he said, now you initiate me. So Keshav Bharati gave the same mantra back to Lord Chaitanya to initiate him. So basically, Lord Chaitanya got initiated by a Vaishnava sannyasi, not a Shankarite sannyasi. Okay, that's very important to know because otherwise people say, "What is this?"
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Huh?
Yeah, so nonetheless, he carried Ek Danda Prabhuji. Is that true? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Yeah, so basically because outwardly he accepted sannyas from an Ekdandi sannyasi. So Ekdandi sannyasi will give you only Ekdanda.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so that is one part. And but if we look at that, the 500 years back, because that was Adi Shankaracharya influence was there. Were there Vaishnava sannyasis at that time? Because we don't hear about them at that period.
No, there were Vaishnava sannyasi, but not that many. Like Lord Chaitanya became Vaishnava sannyasi, right?
Okay.
But most of the associates of Lord Chaitanya were the Grihasthas, as you know.
Yes.
So Vaishnava sannyasis were not very common. So, for example, even at the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, there were no Vaishnava sannyasi given initiation. So he took it himself, right? Put the picture of Gokshas Babaji Maharaj and sannyasi initiated himself. So yes, at that time there were not many. 99% were Ekdandi sannyasis. And that is why all these names, Saraswati, Puri, Tirtha, they were all Shankarites. But those are you here. But like Madhavendra Puri was sannyasi, right?
Yeah.
He was a Vaishnava sannyasi.
So he was before Lord Chaitanya, right?
No, I know, but I'm saying in that time, around that time.
Yes, yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments?
Prabhuji, can I ask a question? Prabhuji, what is the difference between Ekdandi and Tridandi sannyasi?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Ekdandi sannyasis usually are Mayavadi sannyasis who follow the teachings of Shankaracharya. And Ekdanda implies that everything is one. So I'm Narayan, you are Narayan, everything is Narayan, everybody's Narayan. You know, Tridandi means no, you're surrendering to the Lord with manasa, vacha, karma, with your mind, with your speech, and your body or activities. So Vaishnava sannyasis are Tridandi sannyasis because they're saying we're surrendering all three, our body, our mind, and our speech to the Lord. Okay, so in ISKCON, everybody's Tridandi sannyasi. So that's Vaishnava sannyas.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure. Anybody else?
Hare
Okay.
Krishna Prabhu. I
Sure.
have something in the chat. Is it because Keshav Bharati is also Sandipani Muni in Krishna Lila?
Yeah, I mean, it's related. It's related because that relationship is there. So that's why he was chosen, right? But we're just talking about, despite the fact that he was Ekdandi, Lachita still chose him. So two different points, but two different reasons.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
By the way,
Krishna.
Mataji, last time you put your email address in the chat, but somehow the chat did not get recorded. So if you don't mind, just put one more time, and hopefully this I will get it. Your
Sure,
email.
Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sure.
I will also need the link for Bhagavatam class on Wednesday. Is
Oh,
it?
okay, sure. Just send me your email address. I'll send you both.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Oh,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, 273. Sange Nityananda Chandrasekhar Acharya Mukund Datta Eitin Kail Sarvakarya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, three personalities were with him to perform all the necessary activities. They were Nityanand Prabhu, Chandrasekhar Acharya, and Mukund Datta. Text 274. Ei adi lilar kail sutra ganan vistari varnila iha das vrindavan. Thus I've summarized the incidents of Adi Lila. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has described them elaborately in his Chaitanya Bhagavat. So once again, Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, look, if you want the details, go to Chaitanya Bhagavat. I've given you some summary description of either things that were described by Krishnadas Kaviraj, by Vrindavan Das Thakur in detail. I've given some summary of that, and I've described some things that he did not include in his Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that's what I have done. 275. Yashoda Nandan Hoila Sachir Nandan Chaturvidhi Bhakta Bhav Karesh Aswadan. The same Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda has now appeared as the son of Mother Shachi, relishing four kinds of devotional activities. Okay, purport? Anybody?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Go ahead, please, Mataji. Yeah.
The servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead are the basis of the four kinds of devotional activities. In Santa, the marginal stage of devotional service, there is no activity, but above the Shanta humor are servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love, which represent the gradual growth of devotional service to higher and higher platforms. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So what does it mean, higher platform? Anybody?
Prabhuji, it's a personal relation. Shantarasa, there's no personal. There's
Right.
maybe Gyan and all that.
Right.
As you go personal association with the Lord, as we have, because one-to-one relation, as one develops with the Lord, so higher is that mood in which we serve or reciprocate with the Lord. That is the higher.
Yeah. So how is it conjugal higher than parental higher than friendship? How is that higher?
Yeah. I remember you mentioning because Lord accepts conjugal is the highest. That's why it's the highest. That's what I heard from you, Prabhuji.
But this is
Long
more,
time
right?
Is it because in the higher rasa, the lower are included? So if it is, yeah.
Well, okay, but yeah, I'm looking for something a little bit more than that. The real
Okay.
reason why.
Krishna Prema, Prabhuji. Krishna Prema?
They all have Krishna Prema. Mother Yashoda has Krishna Prema, as Radharani, as do Subal and Madhumangal and all those people. They all have Krishna Prema.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I remember the Uddhava visiting, going
Yes.
to the Vrindavan,
Yes.
and last conversation with the Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. In one place, it is mentioned. They say they're inadequacy because that was the next to Madhurya Ras, right? Nanda Baba as a parental love. So they express in one place their inadequacy compared to the gopis, because in Madhurya Ras there are certain things cannot be done
Correct.
in a parental or dasya that can be done with the jigger.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So it's the intimacy with Krishna. It's the
And
yeah. But
one more point is the pleasure which Krishna receives, like the in Madhurya is maybe higher than all other rasas. Like it's all depend on like the satisfaction or pleasure of Krishna.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So yeah, the informality, the surrender, the love, the intimacy, the lack of formality, all those kind of things determine the level of I
Love.
guess, highness. So
Prabhu, even Rutna and Manana,
all that is the part of intimacy. How much right I have over you. It's like a wife, for example, will always have more than even the parents or any other friends. So same idea. So it's the mellow is higher because of the informality of the relationship. And that is why when it's Ashwaragan Rahit, which means when there's no awe and reverence, when you don't even know this is God, this is the best relationship because there's absolutely no formality. In Chaitanya, we have read this many months ago. Krishna says, Ashwara Gyan is still, sorry, what's the word? Shithil, yeah. Ashwara Gyan Shithil, nahi more priti. When the love is mixed with the knowledge of my opulence, then I don't care for it. Ashwara Gyan Rahit, tare more priti. When there's no knowledge of my opulence, then that I like, that I love. Okay. All right. 276. Swamadhure Radha Prem Ras Aswadite Radha Bhav Angikari Yache Bhalamate. To taste the mellows of Srimati Radharani's loving affairs in her relationship with Krishna and to understand the reservoir of pleasure in Krishna himself, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the mood of Radha. So again, it talking about three internal reasons. What's the glory of Radharani's love? What pleasure does she get? And what's the sweetness of Krishna? Okay, let's read the purport.
So can I read?
Please do, yeah.
In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, Sri Gaura Sundar is Krishna himself with the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never gave up the attitude of the gopi. He remained everlastingly predominated by Krishna and never accepted the part of the predominator by imitating conjugal love with an ordinary woman, as Sahajiya generally do. He never placed himself in the position of a debauchee. Lusty materialists like the members of the Sahajiya Sampradaya hanker after women, even other wives. But when they try to ascribe the responsibility for their lusty activities to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they become offenders to Swarupa Damodar and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. In Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, chapter 15, it is said, Sabe para stira prati nahi parihasa Stri dekhi dure Prabhu hayena eka pasha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never even joked with others' wives. As soon as he saw a woman coming, he would immediately give her ample room to pass without talking. He was extremely strict regarding the association of women. The Sahajiyas, however, posed as followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although they indulge in lusty affairs with women. In his youth, Lord Chaitanya was very humorous with everyone, but he never joked with any woman, nor in this incarnation did he talk about women. The Gauranga Nagari party is not approved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Vrindavan Das Thakur. Even though one may offer all kinds of prayers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one should strictly avoid worshipping him as the Gauranga Nagar. The personal behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the verses written by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur have completely repudiated the lusty desires of the Gauranga Nagaris. Yeah.
Thank you. So you may recall we read last week, text 244, that Brahmin woman came and took the dust of Lord Chaitanya's feet. And he was so upset that he ran to Ganges and was going to drown himself. But devotees came and took him out, took a bath in the Ganges. Similarly, when one of his servants, Kala Krishnadas, was taken away by these Bhattachari women, he was very upset. And Chota Krishnadas, same thing. Chota Haridas, same thing. He threw him out. Lord Chaitanya was very, very strict about any association with women. But talking about the Sahajiyas and God Nagaris, etc., none of them are approved, even though they're chanting the glories of Lord Chaitanya, but not approved. And especially God Nagaris, they said, my dear Lord, you are Krishna. And that's disturbing the mood of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya was Krishna in the mood of Radharani. So tell him, no, you're not Radharani, you're Krishna. That's disturbing his mood. So not appreciated. This is why we have to know the essence of what's happening, to appreciate and to be appreciated. Otherwise, it's no good. And Prabhupada gave the example of maintaining a cow that doesn't give milk. So all the work you do is useless. Yeah, text 277. गोपी भाव जाते प्रभु धरी आछे एकांत ब्रजेंद्र नंदने माने आपनार कांत. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the mood of the gopis who accept Brajendra Nandan as Sri Krishna as their lover. So to Lord Chaitanya, Krishna was his lover. That was in the mood of Radharani. Gopika bhavere ei sudhar nischay Brajendra Nandan bina anyat na hoy. This firmly concluded that the ecstatic mood of the gopis is possible only before Krishna and no one else. So, but even which Krishna? Next verse. Sham Sundar Shikhir Piche Gunja Vibhushan Gopavesh Tribhingam Murali Vadan. He has a bluish complexion, a peacock feather on his head, a gunja garland, and the decorations of a cowherd boy. His body is curved in 3 places, and he holds a flute in his mouth. That's Krishna of gopis. That's Krishna of Vrindavan. And that is our Aradhya. So Krishna Chakravarti says, Aradhya Bhagwan Brajeshtanaya, Tad Dham Vrindavan. Who's our Aradhya? Krishna. But which Krishna? Not Dwarkadhish Krishna, not Mathuranath Krishna, but Krishna of Vrindavan, the son of Nanda Maharaj, who lives in Vrindavan, who is served by the gopi, Ramya Kashit Upasna Bhajabadu. Served by the gopis. So gopis are worshipping only that Krishna. And that is why when Krishna went to Mathura, Dwarka, there were other reasons, but one reason was that's not their Krishna. And when they met him in Kurukshetra, they said, no, you're not our Krishna. Our Krishna walks bare feet. He wears the flowers garland of wild flowers. He has a peacock feather on his head. He doesn't wear ornaments like you do. He doesn't wear royal clothes. He doesn't wear shoes. Who are you? We don't know you. Okay. Shashikala Mataji, you have your hand raised.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I did not understand Gita Nagari's mode of conduct. Like, are they considering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Krishna? Who, like, are they considering in a cheap way. Gauranga.
Well, so there's two parts. One is that they insist that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. So they serve him in a gopi mood, saying, no, you're Krishna, so we will serve in the gopi mood. So that's one part, which is disturbing to Lord Chaitanya. The second part is that they say that we are Krishna, and therefore we enjoy with the gopis, and that's our service to Lord Chaitanya, which is offensive also. So there's two things, two aspects.
Okay, understood, Prabhu. Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? Okay. 280. यछाड़ि कृष्ण यदि होय अन्यकार गोपिकार भाव nahi jai nikat tahar. Lord Krishna gives up his original form, receives another Vishnu form, nearness to him cannot invoke the ecstatic mood of the gopis. And that's why I give the example of when they met Krishna in the area of Kurukshetra, where he was dressed as a royal person, as a king. And they said, no, you're not my Krishna.
Haribol.
Oh, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Haribol. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So my question is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was strict, like he's showing us the true example of a sannyasi, right? Very strict, talking to women and all, right? And Krishna was the opposite, totally opposite in his Krishna form. So why it is I was told that it is difficult or hard to do Krishna Radha Seva as your deity than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is easy. Like if you are new devotee, they say, you can have Gaur Nitai as your deity because it's easy to do their devotion or service than Radha Krishna.
What's the question?
So question is, when God Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict, but we say no, he was very kind. But now we are reading.
You're confusing. He was very strict in his own conduct about being with women, meeting with women, talking to women. Very strict about that. But he was very merciful to people to whom he would give Krishna Prema without any requirements. So that's two very different things. I'm not sure where the confusion is. Like a person can be very strict in their own conduct. High standards, very strict in their conduct, but they were merciful to everybody else. So maybe I'm missing your point. I don't see the contradiction here.
And why it is difficult to do Radha Krishna's seva? Why?
Yeah, okay, so I'm telling you. Because Radha Krishna take the offense. They are strict about how you serve them. Because when you are serving them in the mood of awe and reverence, which is what we are doing, they're saying follow all the rules. Follow all the rules of devotional service. And if you don't, then it's an offense. So as a matter of fact, Srila Prabhupada said that serving Radha Krishna is like a double-edged sword. You can cut yourself very easily, meaning offenses. There are 64 offenses against the deity worship. And if I told you some of them, you'll be scared. So I'm not going to bother. But they're all in the type of devotion. 64 different offenses against deity worship.
I have
But
studied
with
it.
Chaitanya, no offense. He forgives everything. But his mission is different. His mood is different. So Krishna comes, takes the mood of a devotee, Radharani, the topmost devotee. Radharani is very merciful. And Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya, takes her mood, and in that merciful mood, he is very forgiving. So he's doing two things. He's giving Krishna prema, which Krishna cannot give Krishna prema. He doesn't know how to do that. He knows how to accept Krishna prema. But Radharani knows what Krishna prema is. So she can give it. So therefore, Krishna, when it comes to Lord Chaitanya, he can give it. I don't know if that's explaining it or not. Does that help?
Very clear, Prabhuji, very clear.
Yes,
But
yes, it is. It is.
to her.
So he for his own discipline, he was actually strict.
Right, exactly. It's like, for example, you can have very high standards about how you behave, how you act, but you may be a little bit lax in your children's case. Right? Same thing. Same thing. Because you love your children, yeah, you're a little bit relaxed, but not about yourself. So same idea.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay. So we're going to stop here because some changes now going to happen in the pastimes and the explanations. We're also nearing the end of Adi Lila. Believe it or not, we started Chaitanya Charitamrita 23rd July 2023. So it's taken us almost 2.5 years. No, almost 3 years to get to where we are. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. The other point I wanted to make was that on next week, Thursday, my wife is getting her knee replaced. So I will not be able to come to the class. And the Thursday after this, 26th, is Ram Navami. I think most temple will have the programs. So I guess we're going to take a 2-week break.
Okay.
And we'll start after that. Sorry for any inconvenience or whatever, but unless one of you wants to lead the class, and then by all means go ahead. I have no problem with that. No problem at all.
Prabhu, that's a joke.
No, seriously. I know you are capable of doing it.
Prabhuji, as you are saying,
Prabhuji, how
that
about Wednesday class then?
Huh?
Wednesday class.
So next week we'll have Wednesday class because it's 18th, but we may not be able to have the week after that.
Following.
Okay,
Prabhuji, we'll pray for Mataji's knee replacement.
Yes,
We'll pray for that. Second thing is that Adi Lila, I see there's much more realistic